today, and now you feel fat today also. You're welcome. And now there's a podcast.
Oh my God.
Yikes.
Oh my God. Wow, the Joe Gorman bump.
I can't believe it.
Thank
It's
you
back.
for helping me out.
Anytime, my love.
Wow. I was like, the numbers are not doing well. I
Yeah.
really need your face and your personality. And
You need a lifesaver.
yeah, and I'm sorry to exploit your looks like this.
It is what it is. I knew that when I got into comedy.
Yeah.
I knew that was the debt to be paid.
You know, it's hard being as handsome as you are
Yeah.
with such amazing hair
In this scene.
in this
In this comedy scene in New York where there's so many ugly comedians.
And it's almost as if the uglier you are, the further along you get.
Yeah, sometimes it's like, damn, is this like a fucking comedy show or is it a vomitorium?
Yeah.
Because look at these disgusting fucking comics.
And I see people going out of their way to make themselves look more ugly,
Right.
more fat, more disgusting, at times even unshowered, to meet that level of like just how gross and disgusting looking you have to get booked in this town.
Well, it's like these like very, very rich people are pretending to be like, oh, I'm just a schlub. I'm just a schlub whose father happens to own stock in oil.
And whose intentions are good.
Right. No, I'm one of the, death to the fucking 1%, but not mom and dad.
Not mommy, daddy.
Not mommy and daddy.
Yeah.
If they kill mommy and daddy, how am I going to go to all of these illustrious Manhattan clubs?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I do enjoy experiencing Thanksgiving on a yacht.
Yeah.
I do. But, here we are, just two beautiful people that that's our cross to bear.
Yeah. It's like, whatever.
Yeah.
I wish comedy was still an audio medium.
Right.
I really do think that it all started when people started filming their podcasts and like 90% of the podcast, mine, yours, it's like it doesn't need to be visual.
Not even a little bit,
It's
unless
just-
you want to see the pets.
Right. And who doesn't?
Yeah.
But if you want to see the pets, you got to come to the house or subscribe to our OnlyFans.
Yes, which I'm not going to start an OnlyFans, but the financial pressures that would be alleviated by starting a successful OnlyFans. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I think that off the rip I would have a prosperous OnlyFans, but sometimes you really do think about that financially, where you're like, damn, I just want my life to be a little bit easier.
Well, you got to understand. It's funny because like the thing with if it's a good OnlyFans, they're probably going to like rip the content and put it on Reddit.
Yes.
And like it's like, oh damn, my shit's getting exposed on Reddit. Whereas I would love it if somebody took my podcast and ripped parts of that and posted it on Reddit.
Yeah.
I got a little bump.
Yeah.
It's interesting, the content where like, oh yeah, put this out, distribute this as much as you, please like, share, and subscribe. But you can't really do that for, other content.
Right.
Like only, you're not like, I'm going to do like 1 hour of me taking a dildo in the ass on my OnlyFans free. Please like, subscribe, share, and to see more, subscribe to the OnlyFans.
What's ironic about that is that sometimes the conversations I have on this podcast, I think, are the vulnerable equivalent of like getting a dildo to the ass for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is free.
Yeah, it's
this
free.
Isn't even behind a paywall. There's no Patreon.
We're also living in the age where comedians, it's like, oh, I can't just be entertaining. I need to be insightful too.
And filled with trauma and willing to exploit that trauma.
And it's like, guess what? Fuckface. Everyone has trauma. You still have an obligation as a comedian to be funny. Like that's like a firefighter being like, I can't fight a fire. I have too much trauma. I have too much trauma to do this thing that defines me as a person.
It's weird to get into a line of work, where your trauma is going to be so in the way.
The worst thing to happen in our society is that selfish people learn therapy phrases.
Yes.
Like for my peace of mind, or
my boundary.
It's like, I'm establishing boundaries. It's like, no, you're just ignoring a text.
I heard someone say that a boundary is weak when it's being stated as a boundary.
Right.
And that resonated so much because I've never once have told someone that this is my boundary and stuck to that boundary.
It's like people seem to forget that no is a full sentence.
Yes.
Like, you can just say no. It's like, hey, do you want to do this? Like, no, I don't.
I
I
don't.
want to stay inside and do drugs.
Yeah.
I don't want to go out and be social. Why? So I can get a stronger connection to somebody who's just going to die
But what
eventually.
if it's hot out there?
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
It's like if we're going to pay for an air conditioner,
Right.
we got to use
Our
it.
bill this month is going to be atrocious.
Out the ass. It's over. It's 90 degrees.
Hence thinking about the OnlyFans.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not pompous enough to think that would be a prosperous way to make money. So please like and subscribe and share so that I can start monetizing this channel.
That's cool. I think it takes like 1,000 people to start monetizing.
It takes 1,000 subs. There's a few parameters, and I'm very close to hitting them.
Nice.
Not okay. Very close is like, I like lied about my dick size just now, but like,
It's within the realm of possibility.
Within the realm of possibility if I work a little bit harder. But here we are. I had a few things roaming around the dome that I wanted to chat with you about.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Some things that have completely lost me at this point. But
They'll come
yeah,
in time.
we went to Austin, Texas together recently.
We did.
That was fun.
Hung out
Talk
with some
about
of
hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, very very hot there. We did physical activity that is not normal to us.
Swimming.
Well, not really swimming, but like the 7, 8, 9 miles. That
Yeah, we were
walked in
walking a
day.
lot.
How
were
did
walking
you
a
feel
lot.
after that?
I felt really good. I felt healthier. I
Yeah.
felt a little detoxed.
Mm.
You forget how well, you don't because you exercise daily, but like just how like you feel like more cleansed after you sweat a
Yes.
lot.
I feel like a rag that's been rinsed.
Yeah.
It's such a good feeling.
You got to get all that crap out of you, you know? So that was good.
Do you feel like you're more or less? Do you feel like you're more healthier now that you have an Apple Watch?
A little bit. Well, I see that I should be healthy. Like, because it's like telling me like, oh, you should walk now. And it's like, oh, no.
Ooh, is that thunder?
I don't think so. It doesn't feel like thunder because it's like there's not a cloud in the sky.
I know, but it's one of those like hot days where there's thunder.
It's so hot that, time and space is all fucked up.
Yeah.
So there's like lightning in the middle of the day on a clear sky, an earthquake without any sound, all kinds of stuff like that. We're truly in the upside down.
We really are, which honestly I would be fine with because there is something about having a day off where you don't have any obligations outside of the four walls of your apartment that it's like, this is...
It's nice, but this is I'm going to timestamp it. This is Juneteenth,
Yes.
so we have a day off in the middle of the week. We have a Thursday off, but I got to go back to work on Friday. You
Yeah.
have to work
Tomorrow
too.
And I have multiple meetings, and they're meetings that I need to be prepared for. So I
hate
really
this.
have to work tomorrow.
I hate this shit. How many times do we have to really have meetings? Like all of these jobs. Like I feel like a lot of like jobs that we have right now. Like I'm 40 years old on paper, but in my mind I'm like a kid.
Yes.
And so like sometimes people like ask me to consult with them about what about this and this, and in my mind I'm like, I'm a fucking kid, man. Why are you asking me this shit? And then I realize like, oh no, I'm an adult. I am like, there's no fucking question. Like,
Well,
if I'm an adult,
I
unless like
know.
you're dealing, unless it's like an 87-year-old man, like you got a lot to learn, kid.
Right.
It's like, no, I'm fucking old, and that sucks.
What's funny about what you just said is at my job, and really any job, but I've always taken, if you are in a position of power above mine, it doesn't matter how old you are like, we could age-wise be peers, right? But if you are my manager, like, I think you have your life together at a level far beyond I.
Yeah.
And like some of that is limiting belief, right? Some of that is like, oh, I don't think I could ever be a manager. I don't know if I really want to be a manager, but like, in a world where I don't have entertainment career pursuits, it's like, would I have the belief that like I could be a manager when it's like, in reality, I think my manager is a year or two older than me. It's kind of like with my therapist. Like my therapist is only a couple of years older than me, and I go to that bitch like she's the Messiah.
Well, we have this like in our society, we just have this thing where job titles. The idea is like if somebody got to the position that they're in, it's because they're intelligent and they're experienced in that field, and we're almost meant to believe like nepotism isn't a thing. It's just hard work and dedication. And if you just roll up your sleeves and you get some calluses on your hands, you'll probably be in a management position too. And that's simply just not the way it is.
Well, you know what's so funny about nepotism is that when it came to jobs that aren't blue collars, like white collar jobs, I never understood up until I was, in my 20s as an adult. A lot of things started clicking after the age of 25. But before then, this idea of nepotism, even though I didn't have a word for it, I thought was like only in blue collar jobs. So it's like, I guess because my dad has always been like a blue collar working person. It's like, oh, well, there's no point in applying to that job because that guy's son is just going to swoop in and take that position. Like familial ties are a lot in like local blue collar work. Mm-hmm. Right. And I was made to believe that in white collar positions and like corporations and entertainment and those kinds of industries, where it's a completely different skill set, that it was like, no, work hard and you will achieve it.
Oh, and that's not the case at all.
It's such bullshit. It's like, no, nepotism is just literally everywhere.
There was like a hot minute where, I had a supervisor who just happened to be the CEO's daughter. And it's like, oh, is she really qualified to do it? And the answer was, of course not. Like,
yes.
She just like gave that illusion of like, oh, well, we should do this and this. I had to have meetings with a fucking child in college. Here I was in my 30s. I had to ask my manager, like, how could this happen? And she had to very gently explain nepotism to me. And I was like, oh, that's fuck. And I'm like, what's even the point of trying? And she didn't really have an answer. Because, like, nobody really has an answer when you call them on their bullshit.
Right.
Of, like, what the fuck is this? But, I just stuck through, did that job, I would say you put in, and this is a lesson to everyone, and I stand by this. Put in 40 to 50% effort at your job. At the absolute most, 50%. And then when you're really grinding, buckled in, 65%. But never give 100% of a job that's not your passion, that's not your dream. Because it's just going to make some other person rich. Like, they're not going to acknowledge it. The idea of moving up in a company is so hard to fathom. It took me like I've been at my company 11 years.
Yeah.
And only
and it
recently.
Took a long time.
And I didn't really give a shit because I hate my job. But
it's so crazy because like for the job that I have now, I feel like for the first time in a while, I don't hate my job. But even with that, there are still so many things where I'm like, this fucking sucks. And I really do feel like I hit like a lottery of like company and people and like autonomy. And even then, like it's never good enough, man.
Yeah.
It's so and it really just comes down to like working for myself is what I'll be most happy doing. But that's a whole nother level of discipline.
I know.
But my very short stint of being unemployed kind of showed me like, oh yeah, like I think I do have the chops to like self-regulate.
Yeah, being unemployed fucking rocks. Being unemployed for like a month rocks. After that, you get kind of weird.
No, see, I could have gone longer. Like
really?
I had moments of fear of like, fuck, man, like if I don't get a job, then like can I go to these weddings that I have to get on a plane to go to? And it's like non-negotiable. I'm going to these weddings. Like the 2 weddings that I went to this past year were like, there is no not going. So like that would have been hard to figure out. But I think that I would have been really happy starting my job that I have currently in early January versus middle of November. But it would have been hard getting through the holidays without money to give, buy people gifts. Which, speaking of, maybe my tone will change when I get a little bit of expendable Skrilla. I fucking hate buying people Christmas gifts.
You shouldn't have to.
Because I just feel like my philosophy on gift giving is seeing something and being like, oh, freaking Amy would love that, or oh, my mom would love that, or Laura would love that. Like I want to just be able to like see something that I think would be awesome for a friend or a loved one, and if having the ability to buying it and giving it to them, and it not being like in Christmas, and like you put yourself in a position of like probably not getting that much in return because if other people don't hold that philosophy, then like you're probably not going to get any gifts. But isn't that so much better than this like forced, okay, holiday season's coming in the
Right.
next 6 weeks, you better buy someone a gift between this shitty holiday and this annoying holiday.
We should also destigmatize like that a gift card is a bad gift. A gift card's a great
Oh my
fucking
God.
gift.
You have saved my life with some of the Sephora gift cards you've given me.
Yeah.
Like truly, I've been in a pinch and I go through an old purse and I see a freaking Sephora gift card and it's like, oh, thank you, Joe.
And it's like, what am I going to do? Like get like a makeup that I think you might like, but then you
Right.
don't. And then I give you an extra task of having to go back and return it and get something that you actually want.
And I think it all is like comes with age, right? Like when I was in high school and college and my mom would like a majority of my Christmas gifts would be my mom going to Sephora and getting me makeup. I wasn't as set in my ways. I was pumped when my mom would get me like she would just go to the, beautician at the store and be like, what's trending? Well, she didn't have that language at the time, but like what's popular? I have to get my kid Christmas gifts. Like she's into all like the mainstream makeup. And I would get all this stuff that that I would want without even having to tell her. Now, at the age of 32, I know the contour stick I want. I know the lipstick. Like, give me a gift card.
Right. Just make it easier.
Yeah.
Like it's fine when you're younger and like maybe you haven't found out what you actually like.
Exactly.
You might. It's like, look, I rolled the die, but based on what I know about you, like I think you'll like this. But once you're in like your late 20s, 30s, it's what you like.
Agreed. Agreed.
So,
Speaking of knowing what I like, I'm drinking this coffee right now.
yeah.
That not sponsored, but
Maybe sponsored.
maybe sponsored in the future. I love having friends that are good at doing stuff. My friend Mike has made this mushroom coffee that it's so tasty.
Mushroom coffee is the way to go now. It's the future.
And I never thought I'd be a mushroom coffee gal, but maybe it's because this does have 70 migs of caffeine per portion, per dose, whatever. I have no idea. I'm like the placebo effect works on me, so like
Yeah.
I could probably think I'm Einstein after drinking a cup of mushroom coffee, but the taste
Yeah.
alone is really good. So I forgot what I was saying. That's not a good ad for the coffee. But that's just my own pitfall.
About how cool it is to have friends that innovate and do shit.
Yes. I love it. This is my new favorite thing. Stocking stuffer. It's called Make Space and Time. And I got the matcha coming next week. I just ordered it. So I'm very excited about that.
Find them on TikTok.
Find it on TikTok. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I feel, and like, that's also a gift. Like if my friends want to give me a gift, subscribe to my podcast.
Yeah, give me money.
Give me a 5-star review. You don't have to give me money, but like if I had a product, if I had merch, a gift to me would be buying that merch. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm feeling a little jaded.
A little bit.
A little
That's
jaded.
okay.
That's okay. What do you think about these people like Mel Robbins? And you know who Mel Robbins
No,
is?
who's that?
She's the Let Them lady, the blonde hair and
Let them.
Yeah, so she's basically the female Tony Robbins.
Oh, so just a fucking idiot that fucking exploits stupid people by saying a bunch of buzzwords and pretending that they're empowered. But the only way they can be empowered is if you give them hundreds upon hundreds of dollars. And you got to take my class. And does she make them walk across hot coals like that monster Tony Robbins did?
See, I don't know her like that. I don't think she does, but you don't have to be that anymore now that there's podcasts. Like you can just be, you can either have a podcast and B, go on podcasts and like be a talking head and sell books.
It would be cool if like my listeners actually decided to overthrow the American government like I'm asking them to do.
Yeah.
Like that's how you know I have zero influence because guess what? This evil beast known as the American government is still breathing.
And to be fair, you started that after January 6th.
I did that before when I was like, okay, if these dorks can like riot against the government, imagine how cool my listeners would be, which are borderline like military black ops mentally.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. What do you think about the war?
Which one?
The one that do you think we're gonna get nuked by Iran?
No, I think Israel's trying to. If anything, Israel's going to do like a false flag attack and be like, "Oh, look at that!" You know, it's same thing with like 9/11.
Do you think another 9/11 could happen, or are we all too hip? To
I
the
think
grift?
we're all. I think like the prevalence of smartphones and just like the general like there's already so much distrust. And you know, honestly, like COVID didn't do anyone any favors because people were like, "Don't get the jab," and then the people that got the jab were like, "See, I'm fine," and then there were all these health related issues happened to it, and it exonerated a bunch of like conspiracy theorists. And now they're saying like, oh, maybe the Pfizer vaccine wasn't as, you know, properly researched and there's still ongoing side effects. So, you know, because of that, people are like, oh, maybe conspiracy theories are real. They're already starting to doubt 9/11. The Holocaust is another thing that's been put into serious question now.
Oh my God.
So I don't know. I don't think people would fall for another 9/11 this time.
Yeah, I think what all these historical events have showed us is that billionaires are bad. Groundbreaking.
Always.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as an ethical billionaire.
No such thing.
None.
Like, look at the people's reaction to what Luigi did.
Yeah.
To Luigi Mangione just like getting rid of a billionaire.
Everyone
in broad
thought it was
daylight
awesome
in
except
New York
my
City.
retarded family. my fucking family who aren't fucking billionaires by any stretch of the imagination were like, he was a father. As if
Listen.
like fathers shouldn't die. A lot of fathers should. Bad fathers should die.
A lot of fathers are gonna die if the
Yeah.
U.S. goes to war. More fathers
Yeah.
will die, which that's not gonna happen. I don't think.
We're not going to war.
Because
There's not enough money. There's money to be made supporting Israel, but there's more money
also,
having...
like, do you really need boots on the ground? Do you really need skin in the game when there's drones
no,
doing this?
but like boomers believe that.
yeah.
Boomers are stupid.
Boomers are literally killing this country.
Boomers are so fun. Just die. Just die and stop making choices. Why do you still have to fucking work? Just fucking retire. Retire, die, and make sure your children are in your will. None of this fucking shit where you're just hoarding wealth. For what? What's it for, fucking boomers? You stupid piece of shit. Your government hates you too. They're gutting your Medicaid. They're gutting your retirement plans. Uh-oh. Looks like the dumbest thing boomers do. There's two major lies that boomers will tell you. One is that you become more conservative as you get older.
Yeah.
And another thing is like you understand your parents more as you get older. Because like I'm older than like my parents were when they had me, and I'm like, that's fucking dumb to have a kid. Like I don't understand this shit at all. Why the fuck would you do that?
I am legitimately like, people having children has made me realize how wealthy they are probably familially.
It's like a flex. It's like
Yeah.
you can either own like an exotic animal. Like in the 90s, like Ross from Friends had that little monkey, Marcel.
Yes.
You know, and that was like, oh, Ross is like a fucking rich guy. He's a paleontologist.
Right.
You know? And now it's like the new exotic pet is like raising a kid with probably like some fucking trans kid now, knowing how fucking goofy people are, where they're gonna let him wear a dress or some shit, or you know, or undiagnosed autism.
No, I don't think I think undiagnosed autism is a thing. I think undiagnosed mental anything is a complete thing of the past.
Yeah, now we have overdiagnosed autism, where everyone thinks like, oh, this kid's autistic. It's like maybe the kid just likes fucking dinosaurs.
Yeah.
You know, they probably would have thought I was autistic as a kid.
Because of how obsessed you were with the screen. You were an iPad kid before iPads were even invented.
I was a Nintendo boy. I loved fucking I love video games, and I still love video games. But you know what? My parents never encouraged my use of video games.
And
you know?
Tim Dillon talks about that's where boomers really got it wrong. Boomers villainized video games and weed, and look at those industries.
They're huge.
Huge.
I literally could have been like a streamer.
I don't know why you don't stream.
Well, I'm going to start streaming. I'm gonna buy some new video game stuff, and I'm gonna start streaming. I'm gonna get that router.
You absolutely should, because like you're funny when you're talking to your friends. It's like you should just do this.
Yeah, but I use too many racial slurs when
well,
I'm playing video games.
you gotta learn to self-edit.
I can't. It's impossible. It's such a good word to say when you're frustrated, and I think that's like what.
Don't put that kind of smut on my feed.
That's what
RSS
people need to
feed.
know. It's like sometimes you don't say it to be racist. Sometimes you just say it because you feel it in your heart. All right.
No.
And like maybe it wouldn't be such a like. It's like just try it once, and it's like if it don't feel great saying it, you don't need to say it.
So
Now, I'm
you-
not saying say it to people, but yell it into the void.
So you're
whisper
like-
it into your pillow before you fall asleep at night.
You're saying that you treat racial slurs the way that you should treat a diet. Don't
Yeah.
be too restrictive, because then you'll binge
Right.
and shoot up a place.
Every white person has said the N word. And it's like if you see a person that's like, I've never said that word. I don't use that word. That's a bad person. That is a person with genuine racism in their heart.
Or they're part of Generation Alpha and really.
No, Generation Alpha 100% says it.
You think?
Every
I don't
generation,
think so.
because I thought Gen Z didn't say it, and like they drop it all the time. You're not online the way I'm online in these fucking video game lobbies.
Oh, true.
They're dropping it all the time, and you know what? There's probably like some Gen Alphas cooking up some new slurs that are gonna blow your mind. So maybe you shouldn't kill yourself just yet, because let's see what new and delicious racism this generation has in store for us.
I'm starting to regret having you on this podcast.
Wow, it's this coffee. It's fucking fired me up.
Coffee made
The
you racist.
cordyceps in the coffee are rewiring my brain, so I'm putting together all these ones and zeros like never before. I truly feel like Bradley Cooper in Limitless.
Are you excited for the new 28 Years Later movie?
Yeah, we still need to watch 28 Weeks. Maybe we'll watch it tonight.
Yeah, maybe we'll watch it tonight. I'm just kind of like bummed that Cillian Murphy's not. I truly did not know that there was a 28 Weeks Later.
Yeah,
Movie.
there's 28 Days, which we watched.
We watched.
On.
Still holds up.
We watched that one on Tubi.
Pluto.
We watched it on Pluto, which is owned by Israel because
It's not owned by Israel. It's owned by Viacom.
which is owned by Israel because we were watching it and it's commercial breaks, and every commercial break I was watching, because I watched an episode of King of Queens to see like, all right, what's does Pluto have to offer? My favorite show, King of Queens, Doug Heffernan and his beautiful wife Carrie.
Do you think Doug Heffernan ever said a racial slur?
Oh, 100%. Not just Doug Heffernan, Kevin James. Kevin
Anyways,
James.
keep going.
Yeah. But like there were all these commercials that were like justifying the war in Iran, and they were like, "Did you know that Iran calls Israel the little evil and they call America the great evil? We must stop Iran." And it's like, I don't know. What's Iran ever done to anyone?
Cute.
Yeah, Iran so far away. Give them a break. Just chill. It's always like we're always like acting like there's like this great evil, but like the actual evil people, the billionaires, they're not going to be affected.
Yes.
It's schools. It's children.
It's
You
us
know.
on our morning commute to Manhattan. I'm like
Free
afraid.
everyone. Free Iran. Free Palestine. Free Israel.
Yeah.
Free Israel from the regime of the Zionist.
Yeah, Netanyahu is.
Netanyahu's a Yahoo.
I would be so frustrated to be.
More like Nutty Yahoo. That's what he is. Tweet that. Get that
yeah,
out. Get that in. Hashtag Nutty Yahoo. Get that viral. Let these politicians know we won't be their sheep.
All right. We're gonna keep this brief. How long have we been going? 28 minutes. It feels like we've been going for 28 hours.
More like 28 years later.
Literally 28 minutes later.
Does this time just drag when you're around me?
This is how we. No, when you like go on, and I know it's all in the name of comedy and like you're just having a goof, but like now I'm like, do I cut your little like
No.
rant about racial
what?
slurs? Like,
Why? That was so much fun.
I know, and
I
I know,
feel like black
I know
peop-
you have no hate in your heart. Like,
I have black friends. That's how you know somebody's not racist, if they bring up the fact that they know black
yes,
people.
It's like the boundary thing.
Like that episode of Seinfeld where George needed to prove he had a
Yes.
black friend, and he was going all over Manhattan, and then but no black people liked him, and he's like, "Do you want to get?" He invited a cable guy over, and was like, "Do you want to go? You want to go get lunch?" And he's like, "I don't know this guy."
Gosh.
Shit rocks. Seinfeld rocks.
Seinfeld rocks. You know what really rocked
Mm.
that we watched recently? Pee Wee Herman's Paul Rubens documentary.
I had no idea he was gay.
You just thought he liked the.
I thought
the
he was just like
pictures?
I thought he was just like a giant kid, and now I realize he's a devious homosexual.
Oh, stop! That was
Like
so
it's like
good.
I would never have gone to Pee Wee's Playhouse. I definitely wouldn't have sat in Cherry. I'll tell you that much.
You know what's funny about having watched the Paul Rubens documentary is, they talked about how he would cast black actors in in Pee-wee's Playhouse, but like it wasn't like a thing. It just was like, okay, this black person is a cowboy, this black person is a mailman, you know, whatever.
The king of cartoons.
Yeah, exactly. And the very next night, I went over to a friend's house and we started watching the Sex and the City spinoff, and just like that,
Ugh.
so many intentional, like, casting black actors to like have a black actor in the show.
Right.
It was, and it's so obvious. And I was like telling
And,
everybody, you have to watch the Pee Wee Herman documentary to see how to do this correctly. Like
like the whole point is like there's no way like Carrie, Samantha, Charlotte, fucking whatever that other one is.
Samantha, she's not in it, but like,
yeah, but like there's no way like they would have fucking been friends with black people.
well,
Like they were also like wildly transphobic in the original show.
and homophobic, and
Right.
Unless you're a gay guy.
Right. Well, unless you're like you're like one of the acceptable gay men.
Yeah.
Which is like a gay man that acts like a black woman.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
like what Mario Cantone in that awful character. Awful character. Like that's why homophobia is a thing. Is because I think in like the 90s, you know, there wasn't just like, oh, I'm gay. It's like, I'm gay.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, God, you want to adopt a kid?
You know what show was so good? Queer
Queer as Folk.
Queer as Folk. That was such a good show.
Never watched it. Never
Oh my
watched.
God, it was
never
so
watched
good.
that. Never watched 6 Feet Under.
I want to watch 6 Feet Under, but there's so much death.
I want to watch The Wire.
So much death.
But like, I'd rather see The Wire where it's like it seems like the right people are dying.
I don't know if
And
they
there's a gay
are.
guy in The Wire too.
And there's a gay guy in The Sopranos.
There was but the gay guy in The Wire is cool.
Yeah.
The gay guy in The Wire is very fucking cool.
Yeah, but what's funny about what you just described is that the scene of And Just Like That I watched was these like 4 white ladies were at like a restaurant in like Harlem. So they had every single freaking table filled with like black actors, and it was just so fun. Like, what are you white ladies doing in this
Do they not know how
restaurant?
like gentrified Harlem is now?
Yeah, it was like really, really bizarre. Anyways, there was a question I had for you, and it was something about physical fitness, and I knew I was gonna forget it. I really feel like I need to get like my brain checked. Like I have no memory. I don't smoke pot either.
You gotta drink more of the coffee. You're probably like not getting enough nutrients or something.
Yeah.
Now that you're exercising, you probably have to like start taking multivitamins and stuff.
Yeah. The hardest part of starting to exercise was not talking about it all the time. Do I talk about it too much?
I mean, I don't know.
You just don't listen when I talk.
You know, I just know you go to the gym in the morning and that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think about starting a workout routine?
Nah, it's not for me.
Not for you.
I'd rather
You go through waves.
I go through waves.
Like you'll consistently for like 6 weeks get up every single morning and do like 50 minutes on the stationary bike.
Right.
And then for the next 6 months it becomes a coat rack.
Right. And then it's like I better use this again and get back in
Yeah.
the habit, and then I don't know. It's like I wish it was like a thing where it's just like, okay, now it's so much easier to put on weight.
Yes.
And if it was just as easy to lose weight, it wouldn't be as big a deal.
Something that it would exactly, and now that I've been in a place in my life where I'm consistent, like this is the longest I've ever been consistent with working out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going on 7 months of going to the gym at least once a week, but more realistically, like
3 to 4.
3 to 4 times
Yeah.
a week. And it has not gotten easier to get up and go. It's maybe marginally easier, but I was led to believe that after like the 5th month, the 4th or 5th month, you'll get up and like be excited to go.
Right.
And no.
You got to like trick your brain into thinking.
I
But you
just-
also got to get like, if you work out long enough, you start getting like the endorphins from it.
Yeah, and I feel like I do. Like I feel like I get the stress relief from it because I feel like my day job really is too stressful to like not have a healthy coping mechanism. My manager will listen to this and be like, you literally cry to me every freaking day. But like I don't crash out as much. And but still, like, getting up and going, I'm like, this still is awful. I mean, I guess it is nice doing something in the workout class that like even today I was like thinking to myself, there is no way I would have been able to do this a few months ago.
Yeah.
So that's what's cool about it. But
You don't get gassed out. You don't come
or
back
even
like crawling back.
True. That's very true. But like, it's crazy how like when you go a long time without exercising, how you really take for granted like your dexterity and how your body won't be able to move in positions that it needs to move in. Like, I don't know, like lifting your leg or whatever. Like,
yeah, like I'm learning. Like I got to start like stretching and working out just to like age properly.
Yes,
because I don't want to be bedridden.
I know. And I feel like I kind of always kind of worry in the back of my mind about like getting some kind of degenerative disease that you have no control over.
Yeah.
So when you do have the ability to control, you're lifting weights, you should, if you can.
Yeah.
But
you swing the old kettlebell around a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
oh God.
But like my grandparents, like,
you have good genes.
yeah, I have good genetics. Like at least I have a full head of hair.
Mm-hmm.
And only like one of my grandparents like was suicidal. That's not bad. So I have a 1 in 4 chance of maybe committing suicide. Aside from that, I'll live to be probably like 80 if I was a smoker, and then 90 if I wasn't, like my other grandparents.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good.
I just wish we all could live naturally to 100.
That doesn't, I mean, it depends on the quality of life, though.
I know.
What if I like got into a coma when I was 15? I wouldn't want to spend like 85 years in a coma.
True.
Unless I'm having like a fucking cool dream.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't really know what happens when you're in a coma.
I know. Well,
Pop culture leads you to believe you wake up and you're like, I don't know anyone here.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Well, we watched that really good show, Common Side Effects.
That's right.
And, I don't want to do a spoiler, but there was one instance where someone's in a coma and, like, while they're in the coma, it's just them, like, having these, like, really uncomfortable, crazy visuals.
Right.
Which that feels like hell.
That Common Side Effects portrays, like, how cool a mushroom trip is and how terrifying a mushroom trip can be, too.
Yeah.
It depends on what your mindset is going in.
It really is. And that's why, like, I just keep bringing up stuff we're watching, but we just watched that episode of Industry where it's like you have to go into a psychedelic trip with feeling grounded and good intentioned.
Like any kind of psychedelic, and I do believe this from my time as a shaman, but they just kind of, those psychedelics will bring to the surface stuff that's going on in your brain, like especially if you're trying to, like, you shouldn't do psychedelics if you're trying to forget something, because that will come to your brain first and foremost. Maybe
that's how I feel about weed.
Really?
Yeah. I could be in like the best place emotionally and mentally, and I'll think about like something I said once and how it's going to ruin my life.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's gay.
Yeah, it sucks.
That sucks, dude. You can't never get high.
Not unless I'm like in a social setting, which is crazy because I used to be so opposite. I used to never be able to smoke in a social setting.
I'll smoke in a social setting, but I prefer just to smoke by myself, solo dolo. Just me, the glow of a lit joint, and the Xbox. That's all I truly need.
Yeah.
That's all I need to be happy. That's real joy. Everything else is just like, extra.
Yeah. You're not even lying a little bit.
Well, I mean, like, in terms of the comedian's pursuit of, like, if I get this spot, I'm going to be happy, or if I can record this special or get in at this club. Mm-hmm. But it's all subjective. That stuff's going away,
I know, but then what's the other thing?
You got to find purpose in yourself. You got to create your own success. I know everyone says that, but, I mean, it is true. Like, you put out the stuff you want to put out. And, like, honestly, It used to be like the only way you're going to get a special is if you have industry backing you, if you have like an agent who vouches for you and puts you on like a late night spot. But, YouTube's become its own thing now. And I think a big part of it is like if you're willing to invest like, $2,000 to $6,000 in yourself
Yeah.
to like really rent out a theater, fill it up, maybe do 2 nights, record both shows, or 2 nights, 2 shows each, so you get like 4 tapes to edit from. You probably have like a pretty good,
I mean, I'm in a unique position of seeing my friends that I started doing comedy with go that route of producing their own YouTube special or their own special to put on YouTube. And it's incredible the amount of work that goes into a project like that. And it's such an amazing feat to be able to do that. And the fact that we're in New York, where there is so much opportunity in comedy to do that, like if you feel like you have an hour, or not even, but if you feel like if you have an hour, you can find a location that is a comedy location and produce a special there. Because like, even if you yourself don't know the people that you feel like you should know, someone that knows someone who will connect you. And you get a little Skrilla, you few thou to buy these, to hire these people and put it all together. Then you can put it on YouTube. But really, it's like it's in the hands of the algorithm if people see it.
Right.
People don't even need to like it; they just need to see it.
Well, I mean, like, but in the end, it's like you need to create art for yourself.
Yeah.
And like, just put the art out there and let time be the decider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
if people want to find it, they'll find it. Sometimes stuff like we'll get like I'll see like a comment on like a YouTube video that's like 5 years old, but like a new comment, and they're like, "I like this." It's like, all right.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, if you like this from like 5 years ago, wait till you see when I get off my ass and put something else out now. Comedy is at its most accessible right now than it's ever been before.
Yeah.
Like. I bet people say about how like easy it was to have a career in the 80s, but it was also kind of harder to break in because it was all word of mouth. Like, you didn't even have social media to,
It also was like white guy was king.
I wish.
So it's like it was easy to have a
case.
career as a white guy in the 80s.
Yeah. Now you got to be an alphabet person to get in.
Yeah, you're short. You have that. Going for you.
LBGTQ W. For white guy.
White guy. WG.
I'm part of the LGBTQW plus. What's the plus? Under plus is like white guy, cool
Size.
guy, fat guy, short guy.
Oh God, yeah. Oh, to be us, these poor white people.
I know it really. Well, it's like literally poor white people because we're not. we don't have like hundreds of thousands in the bank.
Unfortunately, but that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
It's all tied up in stocks.
Yeah.
It's in stocks and trust funds across the universe.
I've invested in sterling.
I've invested in Tesla, unfortunately. What a mistake.
Oh my goodness. Maybe we'll just end it here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever you want.
Where can people find you?
You can find me online at Joe W. Gorman. That's my handle on Instagram, X, Facebook even. If you play video games, you can add me on PlayStation or Xbox. My handle is Joe W. Gorman. I'll play with you. It doesn't matter what. And stay tuned to Twitch. I'm going to be streaming soon.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Guys, please subscribe to I Feel Fat Today on YouTube, where we have full video episodes like the one you're watching right now. Head over to Apple Podcasts, where you can follow us and leave us a 5-star review. All of this is free to do. Follow us on Instagram at I Feel Fat Today. And you can follow me at Hello, This is Kelly. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Thank you, babe, for coming on.
Anytime, my love.
And yeah, we'll talk to you next week. Bye.